Hey everybody, this is another Comic Talk with Hefty. This is week 2 of Thor month, leading up to Thor Love and Thunder. This week we have another classic Thor storyline to check out, another independent comic recommendation, and another current comic you should go and grab while you still can. Let's go ahead and start. I'm going to get to it. And today, the classic Marvel comic recommendation is classic Thor run by the great Walter Simonson. Walter Simonson was the writer and artist for almost all the issues, running from 1983 to 1987. A lot of great things happened during this run. Reinvigorated Thor as a character who had been stagnant for a while. I talked last week about how I never really read Thor prior to Jason Aaron's run on God of Thunder. After I read that, I was interested enough that I went back. I'd always heard this was the definitive Thor run, so I went back and picked it up. Surprisingly, I was able to get all the issues for pretty cheap. I don't know if that's still the case, but it might be worth checking out. If not, the entire Simonson run is collected in five graphic novels or trade paperbacks that you can get. Again, as always, the link in the description will take you to where you can buy one of these. I'm not sure if this is available on Comixology or not. But yeah, a lot of great things associated with Thor that have become synonymous with Thor were introduced during Walt Simonson's run, including and not least of all the character Beta Ray Bill. For those of you who don't know, Beta Ray Bill was a great character introduced in Thor 337, which was actually the first issue of Simonson's run. And he is a Korbonite, another alien race, uh, who was also deemed worthy and was given the power of Thor by Odin, and ends up becoming a hero in his own right. And that's who's pictured here on the cover of this graphic novel, Fighting Thor. He's an amazing character. He's a fan favorite. A lot of people think he's pretty neat. And he started here. It also introduced Malekith the Accursed, the Dark Elf, who was the villain in Thor: The Dark World, played by Christopher Eccleston. Not my favorite. Um, ac- Actually, to be honest, it was my least favorite movie so far of the MCU. But the character is a lot of fun, and he's first introduced in this storyline. Also, a long-running subplot that builds up to a huge crescendo with Surtur, the Fire Lord, who also is in Ragnarok. Great battles with Hela, and the classic uh, use of Executioner, who also was in Thor Ragnarok, played by Carl Urban. Great storylines, a lot of fantastic writing, definitely worth checking out. If you want to read Thor the way that people know Thor, if you want to read the Thor that Taika Waititi based a lot of his plans for Ragnarok on, go check out Thor by Walt Simonson. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, next up we have our uh, independent comic recommendation of the week. This one is from Image Comics. It is by Brian K. Vaughan, is the writer, who is a pretty well-known writer in the business. You might even be familiar with him even if you don't know the name. He created Runaways. There was a Hulu series for a couple seasons based off of Runaways from Marvel Comics. I often talk about Saga as one of the greatest comics of all time. He's the writer on that. He also wrote Y: The Last Man, which I think last year got picked up as a show on, I think it was Amazon. I watched the first episode. I haven't watched the rest, but Y: The Last Man is a great series as well. That'll probably get mentioned here eventually. But the one I'm talking about today is Paper Girls. Paper and the art is by Cliff Chiang, who is an incredible artist. The one time I actually read and enjoyed Wonder Woman, he was the artist on that as well. I love his artwork. The colors here are fantastic too. Uh, Paper Girls is about four young women who have paper routes uh, in the 1980s. They're close friends. They have the usual, you know, middle school, early high school issues. Um, but one night they get drawn into a really strange uh, situation, which is the course of this series. It ran from 2015 to 2019. It's only 30 issues, though. There are quite a few breaks. It's collected in six trade paperbacks of 5 issues apiece, and definitely worth checking out. It's got a Stranger Things vibe. If you like Stranger Things, and it can't be said enough. All four main characters are female. All four main characters are women. They're all strong women. They're all unique women. This definitely passed the Bechdel test. I can't even think off the top of my head of any conversation that happens throughout the entire series about boys. Um, it's just four real kick butt girls trying to make the best they can in this strange situation. And I know I'm being very vague about what they get involved in, and that's purposeful. The first issue, which would be like the first fifth of this book here on the screen, ends in a plot twist that kind of gives you an idea for what kind of story you're in for. And I don't want to ruin that. Um, but I think it's a great series, very well written characters. Uh, it's beginning, middle, and end. Like I said, 30 issues. It's a quick read. I think it's definitely worth it. And the art, like I said, is just amazing. The coloring is amazing. I highly recommend it. I think it's an underrated book. Brian K. Vaughan is known for a lot of things. I don't think he's as well known for this, but I think it's a hidden gem. I would certainly suggest checking it out. And I think I heard that it is also up for option that it might get turned into a TV series, which would be pretty neat. I think it definitely has. I think it's the right vehicle. I think this could certainly be a fun TV show. But yeah, it's look, it's sci-fi. It's sci-fi with about four 80s teenage girls, uh, and it's got some twists and turns. There are some parts I had to read a couple times in order to understand what it was that I was reading. But I think you'll enjoy it. All right, finally, and I've already mentioned this on the Discord, and I mentioned it in this morning's live stream. I'm going to mention it again because I'm so freaking excited about this. My final recommendation for this week is the brand new, hot off the presses Captain America series, Sentinel of Liberty. This first issue just came out this past week. That would have been June 15th. And I am not familiar with this writing duo of I got to look at their names again. I'm embarrassed because I'm not familiar with it. Kelly and Lansing. Uh, Kelly and Lansing is the writing duo. I'm not familiar with their stuff, but I was so surprised by this first issue. I've been reading Captain America every month since the early 2000s, like 2006, 2005, when they first introduced the Winter Soldier during Ed Brubaker's incredible Captain America run, and I just realized that's another series I'm gonna have to talk about in the future. Uh, but I haven't been, it hasn't been on the top of my reading list for a while. Let's put it that way. Um, so I picked it up more out of loyalty than anything else, but it's a first issue. First issues usually are at the top of my reading list. I want to see what's going on. And from page one, I was just enthralled with it. I think it's a take on Steve Rogers that I've been wanting to see for a while. It's a take that I don't think is done enough. In fact, this is probably one of the few occasions I will say that the movies do a better job of this than the comics do. A lot of the focus is on the fact that Steve Rogers is a man uh, from another time. A lot of focus is on him still acclimating to the contemporary world, the things that he's not used to, the things that he misses. It's a big focus on the fact that Captain America is a guy from the 30s and 40s. It's that he's 104 years old, actually. And just where he fits in with this, where the character or the idea of Captain America fits in with today's in today's society, and it's a really like I'll give you a quick example. It's long been established in the comics that Steve Rogers, the character, enjoys art. He likes drawing. He's an artist. There have been a few times in the past several decades he's had like little freelance jobs for like newspapers or something, doing art. It hasn't been touched upon since I think like the early 90s. Uh, there's one scene, I think it's just like one page. I think it's just like a few panels. He's taking an art class and he's learning how to do art now on tablets. And he has no idea what he's doing. Uh, like he knows how to draw, but the technology is something that he's just not familiar with. And it's just little touches like that, and the other students in the class are trying to help him understand how to use the tablet. And it's like it's endearing without being funny. It's not a joke. It's so true to life. It's something I really appreciate. The other aspect of this I really like is the story itself, which, it's only one issue in. I'm on the same page as anybody else that read this first issue. I don't know where this is going. I don't know what the secret organization or what have you is that is teased in this, but the mystery they've introduced concerning something so quintessential to Captain America's character. I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see where this is going. I like it sometimes, like if it's done well, to retroactively introduce an aspect of a character or something related to that character and treat it as this big secret that's been in front of our faces the entire time. When done well, those can be really fun stories. When done poorly, they just fall flat. But if the first issue is any indication, I think this is going to be a very well written story. So, like I said, this issue just came out this week. It's not even a week old. Go to your local comic shop, pick it up. You can probably buy it digitally as well through Marvel. I'm not sure if Comixology or Marvel. I definitely know Marvel Unlimited won't have it yet because they released those a few months after the fact. But go check it out, or wait until the trade paperback comes out. I don't know if this is a limited series or if it's the beginning of a new ongoing series. I'll let you know when I find out, but I highly recommend it. And I guess that's it. Thanks again for stopping in. Uh, Come back next week. We'll be doing week 3 of Thor month as we get closer to Thor Love and Thunder. And as always, in the description, there will be links to pick up the trade paperbacks of Walt Simonson's Thor and Brian K. Vaughan's Paper Girls. And you can buy them on Amazon, eBay, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble. Uh, Grab them on Comixology or Kindle. Or as always, if you want really extra cool, super duper bonus points, go check out your local comic shop. Go support small businesses. They really need it, especially in an economy like this. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great one. Thanks. Bye.